Chosen one, stop right where you are. Do not ignore that heaviness you feel in your spirit right now. You think it is anxiety. You think it is fear. No, that is the physical sensation of a massive spiritual download trying to land, but it has been blocked by the noise of your worry. God has been trying to reach you for 72 hours. You did not miss the message. The signal was jammed. But right now, at this exact second, the interference has been cleared. This video is not a suggestion. It is a delivery notice for the answer you thought was lost. The silence is over. The package has arrived. And heaven needs you to know exactly what is inside before the enemy tries to hide it again. Focus your mind. Receive this. Do not think the algorithm brought you here. Algorithms are mathematical. Your life is spiritual. The Holy Spirit hijacked your feed right now because there is an emergency in the spirit realm concerning your destiny. A message that was blocked for 21 days has just broken through the barrier. You are not watching a video. You are receiving a transmission. Listen to me closely. Do not leave this transmission until the very last second. This is not about views. This is about your survival. In the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the decryption key for the silence you have been suffering through. I will show you exactly who blocked your blessing and how to clear the static. And at the very end, we are going to seal your delivery so it cannot be stolen again. If you click away now, you are walking away from a delivery that is already paid for, leaving it on the doorstep for the enemy to take. Stay. Lock in. Now, let us look at the truth. You have been holding your phone, checking your spirit, waiting for a sign, feeling like heaven has ghosted you. I know that feeling. It is the weight in your chest that wakes you up at 3 a.m. It is the tightness in your throat when you try to pray, but the words hit the ceiling and fall back down. You have been checking your spiritual notifications, and all you see is silence. You have been asking, Lord, did you hear me? Or am I just speaking to the air? You feel like you have been marked as read, but there is no reply. There is a voice in your head right now that whispers, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I sinned, maybe God is punishing me with silence, maybe I missed my window and now I am disqualified. That is exactly how King David felt in Psalm 13. He did not just write a poem. He was having a panic attack. He screamed, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" David felt the exact same crushing silence you feel right now. He felt forgotten. He felt bypassed. He felt like the connection was severed. But I need you to understand something that will shift your entire perspective. David was not being rejected, and neither are you. The silence you are experiencing right now is not the silence of an empty room. It is the silence of a held breath. You think the message has not come because God is deciding whether to bless you. You think He is sitting on the throne, weighing your pros and cons, making you wait to teach you a lesson. That is a lie from the pit of hell designed to make you give up 5 minutes before the breakthrough. What if I told you that the silence is not coming from heaven? What if I told you that God shouted His answer the moment you prayed, but something intercepted it mid-air? You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on the interference to clear. The reason you have felt heavy, the reason you have felt blocked, the reason you have felt like you are praying into a void is not because God is ignoring you. It is because there is a war happening right above your roof. And the enemy is not fighting to stop you from praying. He is fighting to stop the package from landing. Chosen one, listen to me. You have gone to your friends, your mentors, maybe even your pastors, and they look at your struggle with pity and say, "Just Wait on the Lord. They tell you that God is teaching you to be still. They tell you that your character is being developed in the hallway of waiting. And because you are humble, you accepted that. You sat down in the spiritual waiting room. You folded your hands. You suppressed your tears. You told yourself, I will just trust His timing. You tried to force your heart to be okay with the lack of movement. You convinced yourself that the reason nothing is happening is because God has not moved yet. You think you are taking a test called patience. But I need to wake you up right now. You are not taking a test called patience. You are losing a battle called passivity. The enemy loves it when chosen ones mistake spiritual warfare for divine timing. Because as long as you think God is the one making you wait, you will not fight back. As long as you think the delay is holy, you will let the thief walk out the back door with your inheritance. I am here to shatter that illusion. The silence you have been enduring is not God withholding your blessing. It is not God crossing His arms and watching you suffer to see if you will crack. That is not the Father we serve. The God of the Bible is not a God of hesitation. He is a God of immediate action. The moment a chosen one cries out in alignment with His will, the command is issued, the decree is signed, the dispatch is sent. So, if God answered you on day 1, why are you still waiting on day 21? If the answer isn't patience, then what is it? It is frequency warfare. You are currently standing in the middle of a high-level interception operation. The reason you haven't received the package yet is not because it wasn't sent. It is because it was stolen in transit. Let me take you to the proof. We need to go back to the banks of the Tigris River, to a man named Daniel. You know the story of Daniel in the lion's den, but that is not the story that explains your life right now. You need to understand Daniel chapter 10. Daniel was a chosen one, just like you. He was in a season of deep distress. He needed an answer regarding the future of his people. He didn't just casually pray, he went into a fast. He stripped himself of comforts. He tuned his frequency to heaven. For 21 days, Daniel prayed. And for 21 days, he heard absolutely nothing. Imagine that. 3 weeks of fasting, 3 weeks of crying out, 3 weeks of pure radio silence. If Daniel had listened to the religious people around him, they would have said, Daniel, maybe it's not God's will. Or, Daniel, God is teaching you patience. But on the 21st day, the breakthrough happened. A terrifying, glorious angel appeared before him. And listen closely to what the angel said in verse 12. This is the key to your entire situation. The angel said, Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. Did you catch that? From the first day. God didn't wait 21 days to answer. He answered the second the prayer left Daniel's lips. The angel was dispatched immediately with the direct message Daniel needed. So where was the angel for 3 weeks? Why the delay? Why the silence? Verse 13 gives us the terrifying answer. The angel said, But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. This was not a human prince. This was a territorial spirit, a high-ranking demonic entity that ruled over the atmosphere of Persia. This dark entity saw the angel coming with the answer, and he intercepted him. There was a war in the second heaven, a literal hand-to-hand combat between God's messenger and the enemy's blockade. The angel was carrying the intel that would liberate a nation, and the enemy was determined to stop that intel from reaching the earth. Daniel was down on earth blaming himself, wondering if he was unworthy, while above his head, angels were fighting dragons to get the package to his doorstep. Chosen one, look at your life. Look at the last few months. The reason you have felt that resistance, that heaviness, that unexplained exhaustion, is not because God is ignoring you. It is because you are Daniel. God answered you on the first day. The provision you asked for? Sent. The healing you needed? Dispatched. The clarity on your purpose? Released. But between the throne room and your living room, there is a war zone, and you might be asking, why me? Why is the enemy working so hard to block my message? There are billions of people on earth. Why is there a blockade over my house? Here is the truth you need to swallow. The enemy does not block empty trucks. He only attacks high-value targets. If the courier was carrying junk mail, the Prince of Persia would have let him pass. But the angel was carrying a revelation that would shift the course of history. The enemy is intercepting your message because the content of that message threatens his kingdom. He knows that if you actually receive what God sent you, if you actually get that funding, if you actually get that strategy, if you actually get that partnership, you are going to do damage to the kingdom of darkness. You are not being blocked because you are weak. You are being blocked because you are dangerous. The delay is actually a compliment from hell. It is proof that what is coming to you is so heavy, so significant, so life-changing, that the enemy had to assign his high-ranking princes to try and stop it. He is trying to wear you down. He is trying to make you agree with the silence. He wants you to say, well, I guess God didn't want this for me, so that you stop praying. Because if you stop praying, you cut the supply line to the angel fighting for you. Daniel didn't stop. He kept pressing for 21 days, and his persistence sent reinforcements. The angel Michael came and broke the blockade. You need to shift your mindset right now. Stop crying like a victim who has been forgotten by God, and start fighting like a soldier whose supply line is under attack. The answer is not in the future. The answer is overhead. It is hovering in the spirit realm, waiting for a breach in the wall. But listen to me, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. The Prince of Persia was an external enemy. He was a force outside of Daniel, blocking the way. And yes, you have external enemies. You have circumstances, people, and systems fighting you. But as I look at your spirit right now, I see something else. The external blockade is only half the problem. There is another device causing this signal jam. And this one isn't floating in the atmosphere over your city. This one is sitting right inside your own chest. There is a frequency jammer operating within your own soul. A subtle, hidden fear that you have never dared to admit to God. You have been asking God to speak, but there is a part of you that is terrified of what He might actually say. You think you are ready for the answer. But if that answer landed in your lap right now, would you truly embrace it, or would you run from the weight of it? We need to deal with this internal saboteur before we can clear the sky, because even if Michael breaks the external blockade, this internal jammer will reject the message the moment it arrives. Let us be honest for a moment. It is easy to blame the Prince of Persia. It is easy to point at the sky and scream at demons for blocking your blessing. It feels safer to believe that the enemy is the only reason you are still in this waiting room. But if we are going to clear the static today, we have to look at the one place you are afraid to look. We have to look in the mirror. There is a question I need to ask you, and I need you to answer it with your spirit, not your logic. Is it possible that you are unconsciously covering your own ears? I know you are shaking your head. You are saying, no way. I have been praying for this for years. I want this more than anything. Why would I block my own miracle? But listen to the raw thoughts that swim underneath your prayers. When you pray, Lord, enlarge my territory, does your stomach tighten with a sudden spike of anxiety? When you pray, Lord, bring me my kingdom spouse, Does a flash of panic hit your chest about losing your independence or being hurt again? When you pray, "Lord, give me that massive financial breakthrough," is there a whisper in the back of your mind that says, "What if I can't manage it? What if I lose it all and end up looking like a fool?" This is the internal jammer. It is not a demon. It is a defense mechanism. You are not afraid that God won't speak. You are terrified that He will speak. Because deep down, you know that the moment God's voice breaks through the silence, your life as you know it is over. You know that a direct message from the throne is never just information, it is always transformation, and transformation is painful. It requires the death of who you are right now, so that the future version of you can be born. You are praying for the new season, but your survival instinct is clinging to the safety of the old season. You want the resurrection, but you are scared to death of the crucifixion that comes before it. This fear does not make you a bad Christian. It makes you a human being who understands the weight of glory. In Exodus chapter 20, the children of Israel stood at the foot of the mountain. God was ready to speak to them directly. The portal was open. The signal was strong. But when they saw the thunder and the lightning and the smoke of His presence, do you know what they did? They backed away. They told Moses, "You go speak to God, and then come tell us what He said. Do not let God speak to us, or we will die." They blocked the signal because the intensity of direct contact was too much for their flesh to handle. They chose a filtered message over a direct download because they were afraid of the change it would bring. Chosen one, you are doing the same thing. You are asking for a word, but your spirit is bracing for impact. You are creating static with your own anxiety because part of you wants to stay safe in the boat rather than step out onto the waves where you might drown. I am not judging you. I am validating you. That heaviness you feel, that hesitation, it is valid. It is real, but it is also the reason the package hasn't been delivered. The angel is standing at the door, but you have the chain latch on because you are afraid of who is knocking. We need to unlock that latch right now, not with a physical key, but with a shift in your perception. You need to understand that the death you fear is not the end of you. It is the end of the limitations that have held you captive. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Do not change your posture. Just turn your attention inward. Imagine that fear. You feel that resistance to change is a tight knot in your stomach. Do not try to untie it. Do not fight it. Just acknowledge it is there. Now, I want you to mentally hand that knot over to the Father. Visualize yourself placing it on a table in front of Him and stepping back. You are not fixing it. You are surrendering it. You might be thinking, "But I've wasted so much time being scared. Is it too late? Have I delayed this so long that the offer has expired?" Let me tell you the story of Sarah. That is not her real name, but her story is real, and she is watching this channel right now. Sarah was a chosen one, just like you. She carried a massive mandate for a kingdom business. She had the vision, she had the talent, and she had the prophetic words over her life confirming it. But for 3 years, she lived in a state of absolute stagnation. 3 years of silence, 3 years of doors slamming in her face, 3 years of watching less qualified people succeed while she struggled to pay her rent. She did everything right. She rebuked the devourer. She bound the spirit of poverty. She pleaded the blood. She fasted until she was weak. But the sky remained bronze. She became bitter. She started believing that God had a favorite list and she wasn't on it. She thought she was under a generational curse. She thought the Prince of Persia had her in a chokehold. But one night, in a moment of total breakdown, she lay on her floor and stopped asking for the business. She stopped asking for the money. She stopped fighting the devil. She finally got honest with God. She said, "Lord, I am terrified. I am scared that if you give me this millions, I will turn into a monster. I am scared that if I succeed, everyone will envy me and I will end up alone. I am scared that I am not smart enough to hold what you want to pour out." In that moment of raw honesty, the static cleared. She realized the devil wasn't blocking her funds. Her own identity was repelling them. She was vibrating at the frequency of orphan, so she couldn't receive the inheritance of a daughter. She didn't need to fight a demon. She needed to fire her internal saboteur. For the next 7 days, she didn't pray for money. She prayed for capacity. She prayed for the courage to be visible. She mentally walked into the room of her future and sat in the CEO's chair until it stopped feeling like she was an imposter. And do you know what happened? The delay didn't just break, it shattered the very next week. A contract she had applied for 6 months prior, one she thought was dead and buried, suddenly resurrected. They didn't just offer her the contract. They apologized for the delay and offered her a signing bonus that covered the losses of the last 3 years. Listen to me. She didn't get what she asked for 3 years ago. She got double. Why? Because of the law of Shalom. Because the delay was not a denial. The time she spent wrestling with her fear was not wasted time. It was interest accruing time. When she finally unblocked her ears, the reservoir that had been building up behind the dam unleashed a flood. Sarah thought the delay was the end of her dream, but it was actually the gestation period for a double portion. And right now, you are standing where Sarah stood. You are thinking the silence is a sign that God has moved on, but God is simply waiting for you to drop your defenses. He is waiting for you to admit you are scared, so He can show you that you are safe. The internal jammer is the lie that says, "I am not ready." I am here to tell you that if God called you, you are ready. Your feelings are irrelevant to your calling. Your fear does not invalidate your anointing. So, are you willing to take the chain off the door? Are you willing to say, "Lord, I am scared, but I am listening"? Because here is the shocking truth that Sarah discovered. When the signal finally cleared and she braced herself for a harsh command, when she expected God to say, "Get to work, you lazy servant," or "Why did you doubt me?" that is not what she heard. She was shaking, waiting for a rebuke, waiting for a list of instructions, waiting for a mandate to go climb a mountain. But the message that came through the clear channel brought her to her knees in shock. The direct message from heaven was not a command. It was not a demand. It was not a to-do list. It was a delivery notice. God wasn't trying to tell her what to do. He was trying to tell her what He had already done. She realized that the silence was not the sound of God ignoring her. It was the sound of God preparing a shipment. Chosen one, I need you to lean in right now, because what I am about to tell you is going to shatter every religious mindset that has been keeping you poor, tired, and burnt out. You have been conditioned to believe that every time God speaks, He wants something from you. You think a direct message from heaven means a new assignment, a new sacrifice, a new mountain to climb, or a new level of holiness you have to strive for. You brace yourself because you think God is a demanding taskmaster who is always checking your timesheet. But the message that just arrived for you is not a demand. It is a supply. The reason the enemy blocked this specific message for so long is not because it contained a difficult instruction. It is because it contained a release order. The text of the message is not, do more. The text of the message is, I have seen your lack, and I am issuing the restock. You have been operating in a deficit. I am speaking to your spirit right now. You have been giving out more energy than you are taking in. You have been pouring into others while your own well is dry. You have been financing the vision with your own tears and your own limited resources. You have been faithful in the famine, and God has been watching. He has been keeping a ledger. The notification that just hit your spirit is a notification of provision. It is a heavenly bank transfer. It is the resources you need to actually do the job you were called to do. God is not cruel. He does not ask a soldier to go to war and buy his own bullets. He does not ask a builder to build a kingdom and pay for the bricks. If he called you, he funds you. And the silence you felt was the processing time for a massive transfer of resources to move from the eternal realm into your physical reality. This is not just about money, although for many of you, it absolutely includes financial breakthrough. This is about provision in every area where you are empty. It is the provision of a spouse who actually supports you instead of draining you. It is the provision of physical health where you have been weak. It is the provision of new mentors who open doors you could not kick down yourself. So, Loop 7 closes right here. You asked, what does the message say? It says, the drought is over. The storehouses are open. Open your hands, but wait. There is something strange about this package. As you look at what God is releasing to you in the Spirit, you might notice something that doesn't make sense. It seems like too much. You prayed for enough to pay the bills, but the provision coming is for overflow. You prayed for a friend, but God is sending a destiny partner. You prayed for relief, but God is sending acceleration. Why is the package so heavy? Why is it bigger than what you asked for? This brings us to the most powerful concept in this entire broadcast. You need to understand the law of back pay. You are not just receiving a blessing. You are receiving a settlement. In the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, God makes a promise that every chosen one knows by heart. He says, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. We quote that all the time. But we miss the legal power of what God is actually saying because we are reading it in English. We hear the word restore and we think it means to fix something that was broken or to bring you back to where you were before the attack happened. If a thief steals $100 from you and the judge orders him to restore it, you get $100 back. You are back to zero. You are back to baseline. But the Hebrew word God used in that verse is not just restore. The word is shalom. Shalom does not mean to simply replace what was lost. Shalom is a legal term from the courts of ancient Israel. It means to make whole, to complete, and most importantly, to pay restitution. Under biblical law, if a thief was caught stealing, he didn't just have to give back what he took, he had to pay back double, in some cases fourfold, in some cases sevenfold. He had to pay for the distress he caused. He had to pay for the time the victim lost. He had to pay punitive damages. So when God says, I will shalom the years the locust ate, he is not saying, I will give you back the 5 years you lost in that toxic relationship. That is impossible. Time is gone. He is saying, I am going to put 20 years of blessing into your next 5 years. He is saying, I am going to accelerate your life so fast that you will overtake people who have been walking in blessing while you were trapped in the wilderness. He is saying, the enemy stole your peace, so I am going to charge him interest. The enemy stole your reputation, so I am going to give you fame that you didn't work for. The enemy stole your finances, so I am going to give you wealth that you didn't build. This is why the package is so heavy. It contains the interest on your suffering. You have been crying out, "Lord, why did I have to go through so much pain? Why did I have to be lonely for so long? Why did I have to lose that job?" And God is saying, I was keeping a tab. I was watching every tear. I was recording every sleepless night. And now I am issuing the shalom. I am forcing the enemy to pay you back with interest. This is the back pay concept. You are not starting over from scratch. You are cashing in a settlement check from the court of heaven that has been accumulating value every single day. You stayed faithful in the dark. I want you to engage your spirit right now. Do not move your hands, but in your mind. I want you to visualize yourself holding a check. Look at the amount. It is not just enough to survive. It is an amount that makes you uncomfortable because it feels like you didn't earn it. And you are right. You didn't earn it with labor. You earned it with endurance. You earned it by staying in the fight when everyone else quit. You earned it by refusing to curse God when the locusts were eating your harvest. That is why the provision is so massive. It is the accumulated wages of your faithfulness combined with the punitive damages levied against the enemy. Loop 8 closes here. Why is it so much? Because the scale of your restoration must match the scale of your battle. A giant battle requires a giant reward. But listen to me closely, chosen one, because this is where the danger lies. When a small package is delivered to your porch, nobody notices, but when a massive crate, a pallet of gold, a life-changing delivery is dropped off at your house, it attracts attention. The enemy knows about the shalom. He knows the verdict has been read. He knows the back pay has been released. He knows he has lost the legal battle in the court of heaven. He cannot stop God from sending it. So he has changed his strategy. He can no longer block the sender. So he is going to try to confuse the receiver. He knows that if you receive this provision package, you will become unstoppable. He knows that a funded, healed, restored, chosen one is the most dangerous weapon in God's arsenal. So, because the package is so huge, the enemy has activated a desperate last-ditch protocol to stop you from signing for it. He has deployed 7 specific frequencies to jam your ability to receive. These are not random attacks. These are calculated, precision-guided psychological weapons designed to make you reject your own blessing moments before it manifests. You need to know what they are. You need to see them coming. Because I guarantee you, at least 3 of them are operating in your life right now. And you think they are just your own personality flaws. They are not. They are frequency jammers. And we are going to expose them right now. In modern military strategy, when an army cannot destroy a target with missiles, they switch to electronic warfare. They do not try to blow up the jet fighter. They simply flood the airwaves with so much static noise that the pilot cannot hear the command tower. If the pilot cannot hear the landing instructions, the plane crashes without the enemy ever firing a single shot. Chosen one. This is exactly what is happening in your spirit right now. The enemy knows he cannot stop the provision package. God has already signed the release order. The truck is on the way. The funds are allocated. The healing is dispensed. The relationship is ordained. The enemy cannot stop the sender, so he is trying to jam the receiver. He is flooding your spiritual atmosphere with 7 specific frequencies designed to create static. He wants you to be so confused, so distracted, and so full of internal noise that when the delivery arrives, you do not recognize it, or worse, you reject it because you think it is a trap. You need to identify these jammers immediately. We are going to shut them down one by one. The first 4 are internal. They are operating inside your own mind, disguised as your own thoughts. The first frequency jammer is the most common, yet the most deceptive. It is the frequency of rational doubt. Now, loop 9 opens here. You are asking, what does this look like? I am not talking about simple unbelief. I am talking about the voice that visits you at 3 a.m. You wake up in the middle of the night. The house is quiet, but your mind is racing at 100 miles an hour. You start replaying the promise God gave you, and suddenly it sounds ridiculous. A voice starts whispering logical arguments against your miracle. It says, look at the economy, look at your bank account, look at your age. Who do you think you are? It's too late. It's too good to be true. This jammer uses your own intelligence against you. It takes the supernatural promise of God and tries to fit it into a natural calculator. And when the math doesn't add up, it creates a frequency of panic. You start feeling a tightness in your chest. You start planning for failure just in case God doesn't show up. That planning for failure is the static. You cannot receive a supernatural download while you are broadcasting a frequency of natural logic. You have to shut down the calculator and turn on the receiver. The second frequency jammer is the white noise of weaponized distraction. The enemy knows that if you sit still for 5 minutes, you might actually hear the Holy Spirit, so he has weaponized your attention span. Think about the last 24 hours. How many times did you pick up your phone for no reason? How many times did you open an app just to scroll, looking for a dopamine hit, looking for something to numb the waiting? You sit down to pray, to tune into God, and within 30 seconds, your hand is reaching for the device. That is not a bad habit. That is a spiritual attack. The enemy is terrified of your focus. He knows that a focused chosen one is a dangerous chosen one. So he floods your eyes and ears with 40-second videos, breaking news, and endless notifications. He creates a wall of white noise so that the gentle whisper of God is drowned out by the roar of the world. He keeps you so busy consuming content that you have no bandwidth left to receive the Creator. I want you to take a mental action right now. Do not move your body, but in your mind's eye, visualize a radio dial. It is currently tuned to a station that is just screaming static and noise. In your imagination, reach out your hand and turn that dial to the left, all the way down to 0. Watch the noise fade. Feel the silence return. That silence is the landing strip for your blessing. But even if you silence the distraction, there is a third jammer that is even stickier. It is the frequency of sin consciousness. This is the enemy's favorite legal argument. The moment the blessing gets close, the enemy pulls out a file from your past. He reminds you of the mistake you made 10 years ago. He reminds you of the time you failed. He reminds you of your secret struggle. He whispers, "You are not worthy of this package. This kind of blessing is for holy people, not for you. Remember what you did." He tries to trap you in a cycle of shame. He wants you to believe that your performance dictates your provision. He wants you to reject the package because you feel like a fraud. Listen to me, the back pay is not based on your perfection, it is based on your position as a son or daughter. The blood of Jesus already settled your debt. When the enemy brings up your past, he is trying to bill you for a debt that has already been paid. Do not accept the invoice. And now we arrive at the fourth jammer. This is the most dangerous internal blocker of all. Loop 10 opens here. Why does offense block the blessing? The fourth jammer is the frequency of offense and unforgiveness. You might be thinking, what does my anger toward that person have to do with my financial breakthrough. It has everything to do with it. Offense creates static on the grace frequency. You cannot receive grace while you are withholding grace. It is spiritually impossible. Unforgiveness acts like a thick, concrete wall around your spirit. It is designed to keep people out, but it ends up keeping God's delivery out too. When you replay that argument in the shower, when you feel that heat rise in your neck when you think of their name, you are broadcasting a jamming signal. You are telling the spirit realm, I choose judgment over mercy. And when you choose judgment, you step out of the flow of favor. The enemy will often tempt you to be offended right before your breakthrough. He will send someone to disrespect you. He will cause a misunderstanding. He is trying to get you to take the bait of offense so that your hands are too full of anger to catch the blessing. I want you to scan your heart right now. Is there a face that comes to mind? Is there a name that makes your stomach turn? That is the jammer, and it is costing you more than you know. It is costing you your upgrade. I am not asking you to trust them again. I am asking you to evict them from your head so there is room for the blessing to move in. Mental action time. Visualize that person standing in front of you. Now, visualize yourself cutting the rope that ties you to them. Watch them float away. They are no longer your problem. They are God's problem. You are free to receive. These 4 jammers, doubt, distraction, shame, and offense, are operating inside your own perimeter. You have the power to shut them down right now by simply changing your mind. You can flip the switch, but I must warn you, the war is not just inside. The next 3 jammers are not internal thoughts. They are external assassins. They do not look like monsters. They look like opportunities. They look like friends. They look like logical decisions. The enemy knows that if he cannot stop you from the inside, he will send agents to stop you from the outside. He has deployed 3 specific external traps to intercept the package in the final mile. You are likely trusting one of them right now, and you have no idea that it is a spy sent to sabotage your receiving season. The 5th frequency jammer is the frequency of false busyness. The enemy knows he cannot make you bad, so he makes you busy. He knows that if you are exhausted from doing good things, you will be too tired to receive the God thing. I am looking at some of you right now, and you are running on a hamster wheel of obligation. You are saying yes to every favor. You are solving everyone else's crisis. You are the volunteer, the counselor, the driver, the fixer. You think this is your ministry. You think this is serving God. But hear me clearly. It is not ministry. It is distraction. The enemy has filled your schedule with clutter to ensure your hands are too full to catch the package. You are so busy earning approval from people that you are missing the approval that comes from heaven. You are running errands for people who do not even pray for you. You need to understand that the provision package requires empty hands to carry it. If you are holding everyone else's baggage, you cannot sign for your own blessing. The 6th jammer is even more subtle. It is the frequency of toxic counsel. These are the voices of the realists. These are not your enemies. They are often your friends, your family members, the people sitting at your dinner table. They love you, but they do not love your calling because they cannot see it. When you tell them the package is coming, they do not clap. They pause. They look at you with that worry in their eyes and say, "Are you sure? Maybe you should be more practical. Maybe you should lower your expectations so you don't get hurt." They sound logical. They sound like they are protecting you. But spiritually, they are broadcasting a frequency of doubt directly into your ear. They are projecting their own limitations onto your limitless God. And if you listen to them for too long, you will start to agree with them. You will lower your antenna to match their frequency, and the signal will be lost. But the seventh jammer is the deadliest of all. It is the assassin that has killed more dreams than the devil himself. It is the frequency of premature sharing. Loop 11 opens right here. Why is sharing your good news dangerous? Why does the Bible warn us to guard our mouths? Because words are not just sounds. Words are coordinates. When you speak your vision before it has manifested, when you post about the deal before it is signed, when you tell everyone about the baby before the first trimester is safe, you are broadcasting the exact GPS location of your blessing to the enemy. The enemy is not all-knowing. He cannot read your mind. He does not know what God whispered to you in the secret place. He is pacing back and forth, trying to figure out where God is going to move next. But the moment you open your mouth and brag about what is coming, you hand the enemy the blueprint. You say, "Hey devil, here is exactly where my breakthrough is happening. Come and attack it." Let me tell you a story about a man I counseled recently. Let's call him David. David received a direct download from God about a property. It was a miracle house, priced way below market value, perfect for his family. God told him, "This is yours. Move in silence." But David was excited. He was so relieved that the waiting was over. So he went to dinner with some old friends, and he told them everything. He told them the address. He told them the price. He told them his plans for the renovation. He even posted a picture on social media with the caption, "Look at what God is doing." He thought he was testifying, but he was leaking. Within 24 hours, the deal fell through. Another buyer swooped in with cash. The bank suddenly found an error in his paperwork. The inspection failed. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. David came to me weeping. He said, "Why did God change his mind?" I told him, "God didn't change his mind. You opened the door. You invited the enemy into the negotiation room. You gave the thief the combination to the safe before the money was secure." The enemy didn't know that house was a threat until David pointed a spotlight at it. Chosen one. How many times have you done this? How many times have you aborted your own miracle because you needed the validation of people more than you respected the protection of silence? We need to stop this cycle today. We need to secure the perimeter. You have identified the 7 jammers. 4 inside: doubt, distraction, shame, offense. 3 outside: busyness, toxic voices, leaking lips. The airwaves are messy, the static is loud, and the package is hovering, waiting for a clear signal to land. So, how do we clear the air? How do we silence the enemy, shut down the internal noise, and create a secure, encrypted channel for the Holy Spirit to deliver the goods? Loop 12 opens here. You cannot just try harder. You need a system. You need a spiritual protocol that overrides the jamming frequencies. You need the 3-day receipt protocol. This is not a ritual. This is a military strategy for securing a high-value asset. It is the exact method used by the prophets and kings of old to download heavenly intel without interference. I am going to walk you through this protocol step by step. It is going to take you 72 hours, and if you follow it, you will not just hear God, you will see the manifestation of what He said. But I have to warn you, this protocol is not easy. It requires you to do something that your flesh is going to hate. It requires you to cut the cord to the world so you can reconnect the cord to heaven. The first step of the protocol begins the moment this video ends, and it involves doing something extremely difficult with the device you are holding in your hand right now. Day 1 is the silence fast. For the next 24 hours, starting the moment you finish this video, you are going to go on a strict diet. I am not talking about food. I am talking about noise. You are going to fast from the opinions of man. This means for one day, you do not share your problems with anyone. You do not call your friend to vent. You do not post a cryptic status update on social media looking for sympathy. You do not consume content that triggers your anxiety. You are going to starve the confusion and feed your spirit. Every time you feel the urge to pick up your phone and scroll, I want you to replace that action with a mental declaration. Simply say in your mind, I am clearing the line for God. If you can survive 24 hours without input from the world, you will reset your spiritual hearing aid. You will be shocked at how loud God's voice actually is when you stop drowning him out with podcasts and playlists. Day 2 is the preparation of space. You cannot ask God to fill a room that is already full of junk. On the second day, you must physically and spiritually prepare a landing strip for the package. I want you to choose one specific area in your home. It could be a corner of your bedroom, your car, or even a specific chair. This is going to be your receiving station. On day 2, you are going to declutter that space. As you throw away old receipts, as you organize that messy desk, as you clear that surface, you are performing a prophetic act. You are telling the spirit realm, I am making room. I am not just hoping for a blessing. I am preparing for its arrival. You are signaling to the angels that you expect a delivery. Day 3 is the day of the signature. This is the most critical day. By day 3, the static will be gone. The space will be ready. Now you must sign for the package. In the legal courts of heaven, a contract is not valid until it is signed by both parties. God has already signed his part. Now you must sign yours. But you do not sign with a pen, you sign with your mouth. On day 3, you are going to wake up and release the signature frequency. You are going to speak aloud, not a prayer of asking, but a prayer of receiving. You are going to say, Lord, I receive the shalom, I receive the back pay, I receive the restoration. The moment those words leave your mouth on day 3, the transaction is complete. The lock snaps open. The angelic courier is authorized to release the goods into your hands. This is the protocol: silence, preparation, signature. It sounds simple, but do not underestimate it. It is the ancient key to unlocking intercepted mail. But before you start day 1, I must give you a prophetic warning. Loop 13 opens right here. You need to know what is going to happen in the next 24 hours after you commit to this protocol. Do not think the enemy is going to just let you walk into this 3-day journey without a fight. He heard everything I just told you. He knows you are about to shift from a victim to a victor. So, he is going to launch one final, desperate flare to get you to break the protocol before you even start. Within the next 24 hours, expect a sudden, irrational spike of chaos. An ex-partner you haven't heard from in months might text you out of the blue to trigger your emotions. A sudden, unexpected bill might land in your inbox to trigger your poverty mindset. A sharp pain might hit your body to trigger your fear of sickness. Or someone close to you will pick a fight over absolutely nothing. Listen to me. Do not react. This is not a real attack. It is a bluff. It is a distraction. The enemy is trying to bait you into breaking your focus. He wants you to get angry, to get scared, to get loud, so that you ruin the silence fast on day 1. When this happens, and it will happen, I want you to smile. I want you to look at that distraction and say, you are late. I know who sent you. Do not engage. Do not argue. Do not panic. Step over the trap and keep walking. The fact that the enemy is screaming means you are walking in the right direction. You now have the knowledge. You have identified the 7 jammers. You have the 3-day protocol in your hand. You have the warning of the counterattack. You are ready. But there is one final thing we must do together. We cannot leave this broadcast without sealing this word in the highest court of authority. We need to lock this delivery in so that no devil in hell can touch it again. We are about to step into the activation ceremony. I want you to shift your posture. If you are lying down, sit up. If you are driving, grip the wheel with authority. We are about to leave the classroom and enter the throne room. This is not a time for passive listening. This is a time for spiritual legislation. Do not sit there like a spectator. The court is in session. The judge is seated. The angels are standing at attention. It is time to close the deal. If you are safe to do so, I want you to physically stand up right now. If you are driving or cannot move, straighten your spine and lift your chin. We are shifting from information to impartation. The teaching is over. The transaction is about to begin. Close your eyes. In your spiritual imagination, I want you to see yourself walking into a grand courtroom. The noise of the world is gone. The 7 jammers are silenced. You are standing before the Ancient of Days. Visualize that provision package, the answer, the healing, the breakthrough you have been waiting for. See it sitting on the table in front of you. It is yours, but it needs to be sealed. Open your hands in front of you and receive this prayer. Father, in the name that is above every name, we step into the courts of heaven right now. We bypass the second heaven. We bypass the Prince of Persia, and we stand directly before the throne of grace. Lord, we acknowledge the silence. We acknowledge the years of waiting, the nights of tears, and the moments we almost gave up. We bring the pain of the delay to the altar, and we exchange it right now for the power of the testimony. I seal the revelation of the delivery notice over this chosen one. I declare that the era of waiting is officially closed, and the era of having has begun. I bind the spirit of delay that has hovered over their family bloodline. We break the frequency of the Prince of Persia. We shatter the glass ceiling of the internal jammers. I rebuke the spirit of doubt. I silence the voice of shame, and I evict the spirit of offense from their heart right now. I seal the law of Shalom over their life. I decree that the back pay is released. I command the years that the locust has eaten to be restored 7-fold. Not just restoration, but restitution. I declare that the interest on their suffering is being transferred into their account, into their health, and into their relationships this very hour. I seal the 3-day protocol. As they fast from noise, you will fill them with thunder. As they prepare the space, you will fill the room. As they sign with their mouth, you will deliver with your hand. I decree a supernatural hedge of protection around this delivery. The enemy cannot steal it. The devourer cannot touch it. The static cannot jam it. It is locked in. It is secure. It is finished. Chosen one, the package is in your hands. You are no longer waiting for the answer. You are now the carrier of the answer. Do not drop it. Do not doubt it. Do not apologize for it. Walk out of this courtroom with your head high. You are dangerous to the darkness now because you are funded by heaven. Don't say Amen yet. Sit in this silence for a moment. Feel the shift. Go.